I'll be there, speaking of training camp, and I'll be ready to rock. Hopefully Aaron will be there as well, and if he's not, we're going to get going. Like I said in the press recently, I back him and I support him, whatever he does. It's just kind of how we get down. We've always had each other's back since I first got here. Like I said, praying that he comes back, but if not, I'll be there and I'll be working. So any idea that these guys were going to hold out of training camp the way many of them missed the mandatory minicamp goes by the wayside. And so Dan Graziano, Ryan Clark, and Mike Tannenbaum get up with us here early this morning. Danny Graz, you were telling me this morning that comment from Davante is sort of a microcosm of the way the entire situation is.
It is, and those guys didn't miss the mandatory minicamp. They missed voluntary OTAs.
Right.
So ever since it's been mandatory, Davante Adams and the other receivers have, in fact, shown up. And I think when they didn't show up for OTAs, there was a sense of like, oh, look, they're going to force the Packers' hand. They're going to give Aaron what he wants, whether that's a new deal or whether that's a trade. And I think at this point, you're listening to Davante Adams articulate the position that the organization has articulated all along. We're not going to trade him. If he wants to show up, we'd love to have him back. If he doesn't want to show up, we've still got to get ready for the season. These games are going to happen whether we have Aaron Rodgers or not. We can't just shut things down for 2021 because he doesn't show up. So I think that's the Packers' state of mind. They'd still like to have him back. They still plan to do some reaching out and try and figure out how to fix the situation. But if he doesn't come back, that's his decision, and they've got to get ready for the season regardless.
So, Ryan Clark, and I haven't had a chance to talk to you in a while, and it does start to feel like this momentum is building up on the other side from Rodgers here. The Packers, they clearly don't have to do anything. The other players are going to show up. They're going to try and put together a season. It's really going to be up to him whether he's willing to just continue this game of chicken. You know him a little bit. What do you think he'll do?
Yeah. I believe that he will, but I also believe that none of us can actually predict what Aaron Rodgers is going to do because this is so personal. It's almost so petty. It's all about his feelings, and I think that's what Davante Adams is feeling. If you listen to Davante Adams, you know what he is? He's in the fifth step of grief, and that's acceptance. He's just accepted that, you know what, this may be an Aaron Rodgers-less type year. This may be a year where I have to go out and do it with Jordan Love, who's a second-year quarterback, who's mostly the reason why Aaron Rodgers won't be here. But I think that the Green Bay Packers understand this. Now Davante Adams understands this. And this is very on par with what they said during the minicamp, that they want him back, but they understand he got to make his own decisions.
That's exactly right. Look, I agree with you, RC. I don't think he does come back. And so, Mike T., you were telling me that if you were running the Packers, that you would have heard Davante Adams' comments and they would have made you concerned. Why?
Yeah, to use RC's word, there's a lot of grief going on because it's an honest, sober look into what the 2021 season could be, which is a minimum 6-game differential from Aaron Rodgers to anybody else that's playing quarterback. And if I'm Matt LaFleur and my best players are actually talking about playing without Aaron Rodgers, it becomes that much more real if I'm the Packer organization.
As many reps as possible for Jordan Love in case he's the one that has to take over. The Packers would like Aaron Rodgers back. They've tried, they've made it clear, but they are aware that it's possible he chooses not to come back, and they have to prepare for their season accordingly. Davante Adams and the other receivers skipped voluntary work earlier this offseason, presumably in support of Aaron Rodgers, but they're back now for the mandatory part of it, and they plan to be back for training camp. So they're all on board. It's just a matter of whether Aaron Rodgers decides he wants to show up and be a part of it or not.
That is what it's starting to feel like, RC. So going all the way back to when on draft day, Shefty reported the stuff about Aaron Rodgers, you and I and many others believed, okay, here we go. The Packers are going to trade him. They've done nothing and they don't have to do anything. So it really is going to be his move. Is he going to be willing to take this all the way? What do you, RC, knowing him as you do, what do you think?
I think he is. I think Aaron Rodgers just dug in. When you listen to a guy on a call that's extremely public and you listen to that guy say, you know what, it's been kind of cool to be a quarterback and not have responsibilities and move around in the offseason as I please. This isn't a dude that's longing to be back in Lambeau. This isn't someone who just can't wait to be in Wisconsin. And I think that Aaron Rodgers is dug in because this is personal. There isn't a way to work this out through contract. There isn't a way to apologize. There is no owner that says, you know what, we'll get rid of GM Brian Gutekunst. That's what you need, Mr. MVP, to come back and play for us. And when I listen to Davante Adams, I hear two things. The first thing I hear is, you know what, I'm going to play. I'm going to be here. I'm going to do the work that I've always done. The second thing I hear is him saying, you know what, Aaron, I want you to know that you're my boy. And me doing all of these other things, me coming and play, has nothing to do with you, just with me doing your job, my job. I have your back. I love you. Make your own decision. And I believe that decision is going to be to stay home.
I do as well. Mike T., when you hear Davante Adams' words, what do you think?
I'm gravely concerned if I'm Green Bay, and here's why. It's becoming more and more real that his teammates don't believe he's going to show up. To RC's point, it's giving great insight into their mindset, and that is a minimum of a 6-game differential. Blake Bortles, Jordan Love, they trade for Gardner Minshew. They're going to lose 6 games or more without Aaron Rodgers as their quarterback. So this is a mindset into what they're going to be dealing with all summer until if he shows up at all.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.